Alright, converting to Berlicad. General information converting to the Berlicad. Table of duplicate name for the primary file formats other than the ASC2 with the converting of the Berlicad with a note with the disk up 3 with the negative G designation in with each of the converter name indicate with the converted file with the Berlicad standard geometry format. The AutoCAD DXF, the DFXG, Auto Aluminum, LCM neutral, faceted ENFG, Euclid G, fasten generation, fasten forward dash G slash patch G, IGES G, Jack dash G, Nastron dash G, Pro E, I guess that would be a underscore B, subscript B, STL dash G, tank kill tank slash dash G, Unigraphics slash UG slash G, viewpoint database lab viewpoint slash G. Alright, the converting from the AutoCAD to DX format, the DX Autodesk Incorporation proprietary data and specification have developed the support link for the AutoCAD company popular CAD software format, which have been implemented with the CAD system, particularly with the work with the PC, and simple, relatively unlimited, however, they become the well-established means of exchanging engineering drawings. DX format allow the specification of the unit of the DX file, however, not all of the DX files include the information units for the information not found in the DX file with the millimeters, which are some of the default underlying units of the measurement of Berlicad is assumed unit of measurement. Of course, the millimeters is not the right choice of the particular use of the application of the S scale. The option may be unit used. Option of the other variable option for the DXV or converter slash G converter is discussed in the text as follows. When you the converter polygons mesh with the converter with the brag of triangle primitive of each layer of the become the region line circles arcs become the manifolded geometry or NGMG N manifold geometry object within the points and become spheres. The N manifold geometry primitive represents the geometry defined in the points, lines, polygon fastest collection thereof the primitive the Berlicad primitive the encode with the 1 or 2 dimensional 2D data for more information than the N manifold geometry of the Muss and Butler 1987. The command of the DXF slash G converter is the DX dash G option input DXS the output G option for the commander as follows. C specify the first color encounter with the layer with the DX file. U for the addition color for the same layer would ignore. D for the debug. Proceed for the core with the dump for the dump on failures. S apply with the specified scale factor over the DX F data takes an argument. T sets the tolerance distance of the millimeters. Default 5 thousandths of the takes 5 thousandths. Take the augmentation. V verbose points over the progress information. For more information on the DX file format, most important possibility set online documentation Autodesk website Desk FTP Autodesk.com produce up down DXF PDF Autodesk 2003. Alright, 4.3 converting from the LCM the neutral faceted format. LCM the incorporated was in 1984 provided with the product structural synchronization compatible between the CAD system. Company claimed told the industry had in translation such rate with the relied on 3 parts of the product: the CAD porter, the CAD doctor, the CAD server. The converting the geometry between the larger number of the format include the Pro Engineering Unit Graphic or ABAQSCAEACISCATAI and ideas metric to build it in one space and designer Parasolid SolidWorks LCM 2003. Your LCM neutral faceted format database converter was originally written with the Berlicad developed in the intermediate format. LCM neutral faceted file format allowed the conversion of the unigraphic geometry of the Berlicad converter converted to each of the part of the Berlicad region consisting of the bag of triangle primitive and indent the numbers of the increment of each of the region. If the part of the name mapping the file is provided with the part of the name's input files will be outputting using corresponding names from the mapping file. The part of the name mapping must look like similar filing to washer flat nux nut flex. The syntax would be and ellipsium natural faceted command LCM neutral faceted database input / file output file database options. The commands are files I starting indent instead of the starting indent defaults at 1000. End parting name end part underscore name map of the mapping of the input with the output names. And T tolerance distance of the distance calculation tolerance in millimeters. So the default is 5000. For such information, LZM file format import possibility. See LZM website or www.lcmincorporated.com. LZM 2003. All right, 4.4 Euclid converting the Euclid format. Euclid one of the Europe's primary product, the design, manufacture, engineering CAD packages through quickly being superseded by CATIA, formerly distributed by the European Aeronautic Defense Space Command, the Mastra division subsidiary known as the product of the IBM subsidiary MTD division. In the package with the development and distribution manufacturing complex model that has been a major system of the Airbus, the Eurocopter, Aeroane, Eurofighter, Astrium, Euro missile packaging features includes specialized application for the design, styling, drafting, and analysis of the machine, the product data for the management of the enhancements have discovered automatic creation of the 2D drawn with the 3D model for milling, cycle with the 2 or 4 axis of the wire cutting, sheet of the metal, the design, molded design, standard data exchange format, extra interface. The Euclid offers several data with the interference, translation, interference with the DXF, the IGS, VDH, FS, SDA, and set formats, in addition to other modes available to help the refinement of the custom mode, data transport, the direct connectivity, true levels of the CATIA V4 and version 4 and version 5 data transfer, the B boundary representatives to handle the surface data, the Euclid geometry and the output of the standard graphic of the PostScript, the encapsulated PostScript interleaf and plotting formats, as well as the STL file. The Euclid G converter converts the ASC2 Euclid decoded format with the Berkeley, each of the part of the curved Berkeley region consisting of a single bag of triangle primitives. Single of the convert is followed by the Euclid G options files V verbose prints of the output progress information, I input Euclid database set input file name default the STD input output Berkeley database set output file default STD out D tolerance distance set the distance tolerance correlation tolerance in millimeters of 5,000th inch. And produced it is the NMGT primitive default of the bag of triangle primitives. X level is saying the debug flag with a ray trace H binary distribution definition debug dash underscore XXX X level NMG the library debug flags MMGH binary distribution for the definition of the debug XXX level. For more information about the Euclid file format, important possibilities, see the MDT Vision website support MDT Vision and MTD Vision 3003. Note all headers of the H file will include ray trace H, NGMH, and MBUH are accessible source of the binary distribution of the Berkeley and binary distribution of these files installed with the user Berkeley include Berkeley directory. Alright, converting from the fast generation format. Developing Falcon research for the development company over the 30 years ago, the fast generation have been widely used by the Department of Defense, Air Combat System Assessment Community, Air Force Research Lab, the Joint Technical Coordinator, the Group of the Munition, the Effectiveness Joint Training Coordinating Group of the Aircraft Survivability, known as Distributed Survivability, Vulnerability, Information Analysis, and same with the edge of the other vulnerability model testing a full set of the fast generation form of the geometry of the basic boundary represented with the baseline with the Nastron with the data present with the generic open text based file format. Alright, components of the target represented with the fast generation triangle with the quadrilateral, the cone with the cylinder share with the hexagonal basic element of the design, either play with the how with the volume solid module combined with the hierarchical structure with the formation of the component of the structure or Suffice Engineering Company 2002, notable aerospace firm with the support organization fast generation including Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Bell Helicopter, Northrop Grumman, Pratt Whitman, General Electric, Ketron, ITT, Bell Service Engineering, and ASI. There are several versions of the fast generation quality and use fast generation converts include the fast generation 4 pre-process process generation version 3, and it was also referred to as patch. Alright, 451, the fast generation 4 for the converter with the converts the fast generation 4 Berkeley fast generation until with the converter the corresponding with the Berkeley object the syntax of the fast 4 G gen command that file with the fast 4 G option fast 4 G underscore input output database name. Option for the commands is file with the D prints for the verbose debugging output Q prints the nothing except for the errors print W prints the warnings and creating a default names. Plot underscore file slash underscore name create the Unix plot file with the CTR C quad element to process C component underscore list process the list of region IDs may be listed MUVs underscore you create some MUVs the warning file containing CHG comp and create CB hacking C backing elements. The B level assisting of the Lubu debug flag the BUH binary distribution definition B underscore debug X level set to the Liberty debug field retrace H binary distribution definition debug XX underscore XXX. 452 pre-processed fast generation 3 and patch G conversion converts the fast generation version 3 file with BurloCAD format. Syntax for the command of patch G options output G. The options for the command are fast generation RP, whereas processes for the fast generation default with the STDI standard inclusion. A process phantom and armor, and for process volume, the mode of the plate, mode of the U, and the pound specify the number of the union operation per region. Defined default is 5. C says the X and Y, X, Y, and Z specify the center of the object into the sum of the surface normal calculation. T, the specify the optional tile, the default of the untitled MG database. O, with the object name of the O object underscat's name, specify the optional top level, the name is the O optional level. P, write the volume of the plate with mode with the component of the bag of the triangle. 6, processes the plate with the mode of the triangle, the arbitrational 6 corners, solid overrides. P, option for the triangle. I, group file, dot file, specify the group label of the source file. M, dot map file, source of material information source file. Here are reverse of the normal plate mode of the triangle. D level, D level sets the debug level. X level sets the liberal. D level with the ray trace. H for the binary distribution definition. The debug XXX. X level sets the liberal. NMG the debug flag. NMGM. H binary distribution definition of the debug format. X T tolerance distance, the distance of the tolerance in inches. Parallel underscore tolerance of the parallel tolerance in sin. For more information about the fast generation file formats and port possibilities, see Servac website BHDATOIN consume the Servac fast generation HCM. Alright, converting the IGE format. IGE, as for the developed in 1970, was with the government industry academically represented. Originally intended to provide means of exchange, graphic engineering, the drawing of the IGES. Extended into included solid models as well. The specifications include such that many different implementations within itself. The conversion of the IGES format flavors have become in the small industry as a result of the conversion to and from the IGES to the hit or miss proposition. Product data exchange using SZ specifications intended to play with the IGES correctly. Before aforementioned deficiencies explicitly identify the different type of conversion requiring converters to perform these type of the BurloCAD support the conversion over the two implementation IGES entirely faceted the boundary represented the CSG faceted the boundary represented primitives. Syntax for the IGES converters follow the IGES-D option -O output G input G IGES. Option available. The command is filed with the N combined with the rational B splines. So for the file into one BurloCAD spline primitive. The D converts the drawing of the IGES format to the 2 the BurloCAD MGM primitive. 3, same with the D option of the final project, and the D not perform this code to produce the 3 drawings. In some case, the T converts all the trim surface to the IGE file with the sum of the BurloCAD, the non-NG non-manifold graphic primitive, the non-primitive name with the specific name of the single primitive created with the T or an N option. P converts all the boundary represented the N of the BurloCAD with a non-manifold graphic represented with their default of the basic bag of triangle, the primitives. X level sets for the liberty of the default flag of the ray tray for the binary distribution, the definition of the X level separates the non-manifold graphic debug with the non-manifold.h binary distribution definition debug XX. Alright, the NTD3 options and mutually exclusively none of these 4 options provide the difficult action of the IGE solid model X and the CAGS planar for the boundary represented the BurloCAD for more information in the IGES file format. Import possibility. National Institute Standard Technology website NIST to go to ISGES. Alright, converting from Jack. Jack is a 3D interactive ergonomic human factor with the package developed by the University of Pennsylvania Center for the Human Modeling System, maintained the distribution electric data system. The company that have no distributed Unigraphic Astron. The package enabled you to improve the ergonomic product design workplace task for the position biomechanically accurately designed digital human various sides of the virtual environment. The digital humans can tell. Engineers can say what they can see, reach, and how comfortable they are when they are getting hurt, tired, or other information or ergonomics. So the package for the principal feature for the include the detailed human model of the realistic behavior controls, anthropometric scaling, task and elimination evaluation system of value and analysis, automatic research and graphs, collision detection and avoidance for the University of Pennsylvania 2001, EDS, electronic data system 2003, Your Jack G converter creates a single region with a consists of a single bag of the triangle with the perimeter. The syntax of the converter is the following: Jack G options input Jack output G database. The options for the command are regional with the specify the name of the BurlaCAD region created with the option, but did not specify the input file name. The U for the construction of the region name. The G group with the specify the name of the combination created with the BurlaCAD with the region created with the option to specify the combination will not be created. For information on Jack file format, import process, the electric data systems webpage at eds.com, products BLML, AUFAC Jackers, EDS 2003. Alright, converting the format to Nastron format, originally developed with the National Aeronautical Space Administration, or NASA. The sponsorship of the mid-1960s NASA Structural Analysis Program was one of the first efforts to consolidate the structural mechanics to a single computer program that essentially been used as a general purpose of the software tool. Numerous industrial, including aerospace, automotive, mechanical, medical, heavy machinery, electrical devices, consumer products, the products that developed and distributed by MSC with the and Software Corporation. June 2003, with the Electronic Data System Corporation, and the advanced finite element of the analysis of the computational techniques, analyze material strength of the performance value with the statistical structure of the dynamic motion of the structure. Served as an engineering company 2002, MSC with the author 2003. Nastran, note in the NA-strand nonlinear analysis capability can be addressed with a wide range of the static dynamic problems exhibiting both limited material geometric nonlinear behavior. Transfer problems can be solved using conduction, convention, radiation method using a variety of applied loads and boundary conditions. Nastron is a fine element modeling program, one of the general purpose for analyzing the program of the worldwide, even though the original intent of the structural analysis program and the current application include aeroelasticity, heat transfer, fluid structure, interaction, acoustics, electromagnetics, and many other applications. Nastron include the file specification, detection, geometric data. Nastron wide use the adoption of the CAD vendors, making it with a suitable file standard. Nastran G, the database, is currently only with the CBR, CRD, CTRI, A3, CQuad for elements of the Nastran file with the two BurlaCAD as CBR, CROD elements become the cylinders and BRL CAD, CTRI, and C elements with the bag of triangle facets. Syntax convert is the Nastran G options. The option of the command is Nastran input file. So the input of the Nastran file. Output G sets the output file name. And produce the non-manifold graphic primitive default bag of triangle. The primitive X level says the delivery of the default bug flag, the ray trace H with the binary distribution definition debug underscore XX, the capital X of the non-manifold graphic library, D flag of the non-manifold graphic H for the binary distribution definition debug XXX tolerance. T tolerance distance. This distance calculation tolerance in millimeters default with the 5,000th of an inch or 5,000ths. Sorry, no inch. M it sets the units to millimeters. Default is inches. All right, for more than Nastron file format import policy with the MSC website with the MSC software or MSC Software Corporation 2003 EDS website eds.com products Nastron EDS 2003. Alright, 4.9, converting from the Pro E Energy, Pro and E format. The distributed by Parametric Technology Corporation, the Pro Engineering, one of the most widely used the commercial drafting, package design, engineering, manufacture product. These long lists of the manufacturer major components of the project engineering software product lifecycle management include Boeing, Rolex, Audi, Dell, Nike, Maytag, Braun, Hewlett Packard. Because of the engineering populated defense community, the Pro Engineering BurlaCAD converter is one of the most important conversion utility BurlaCAD offered, not like with the converter of the other formats. Pro Engineering converter is no longer the command line activated with the converter written with the Pro toolkit with the module with the Pro Engineer. This forward runs with the Pro Engineering Pro graphic user interface. According in order to use the converter, the user must see with the Pro Engineering as well with the BurlaCAD distribution currently converted with only support with the Silicon Graphics machine of the MIP MIPS processor for the running with the AeroX operating system. The source code for the converter include the binary distributions over the users comply with the different platforms and having the Pro Toolkit module for the platform. Pro E modules made with the two elements part and assembly part files, which are the PRT extension of the basic building block with the Pro Engineering geometry assembly with the file with the designated ASM file extension, both of the parts and other assembly. The converter with the BurlaCAD region for each of the Pro Engineering part with the converter of the BurlaCAD combination for the Pro Engineering assembly. Then each converter of each of the region will consist of the basic triangle and primitive. Primitive, the conversion of the geometry of the Pro engineering with the Berlicad with the two-stage profit converter finds the ASC2 form of the Berlicad database, but then you the convert the database to the binary form of the U is the AS2G utility. In addition, with the Pro E and Pro engineering file with the combat file with the sort of the offer requiring stack of the CDs to store them, the geometry type of the cannot be loaded all at once. The Berlicad uses often use the convert generated tree system by system engineering transmission, suspension, and consistent to them joining them the single Berlicad geometry file for detailed information about this process. The discover the database condensated volume 3 of the tutorial series. Pro engineering makes extensive use of the reference geometry for the discussion of previously valued tutorials, section 5, Butler referencing, and this method with multiple occurrence of the object of the referencing single object with numerous types of difference for the orientation location of each of the reference duplicate the Berlicad using combination transformation matrix in some cases the geometry each of the vulnerable codes and require each of the region unique identifier number. Users may need to export the command of the MGD version complete with a replay with the reference for the real geometry information for the procedure. You should consult the MGED's online help the XPush entry of the volume 2 tutorial series appendix A. Keys to converting Pro geometry with the maximized vision, the effectiveness of converting the Pro engineering geometry Berlicad. You the sure the verse act require the following information Pro engineering is designed on the top level. The assembly first information is very vital and important to the Berlicad. You for the understanding of the overall model structure for the the beginning of the conversion process. Our mapping and part number of the part name, although the part number of the important aspect of the design manufacturing, they have the lightning little meaning with the vulnerability analysis much for the term of the descriptive name with the number to represent. The command starting of the Pro engineering program is specified by each install of the program engineering and start of the program looks for the file name for the protocol data as view PROTK data the best specific place for which it is a current director of the Pro engineering Pro toolkit the module is showed lower. This PRTOCK data file with the Pro engineering Berlicad converter is included with the distribution under the Pro engineering directory. Users should compile the file directly with it. Will be starting with the Pro engineering on the file with the Pro engineering will load the converter and start up. If the loading succeeds, you will see the message installation Pro E Berlicad converter succeeded with the Pro E standard engineering standard. Start with the converter module loaded with the Pro engineering model he wants to convert. The conversion process is started with selecting the Pro Engineering Berlicad item with the Pro Engineering drop-down file menu with the converting dialog box shown in Figure 3 will then appear. Output file, log name, part name, file starting, identification, marking, tessellation, error, angle, facility, everything, and then the following list provides the description for the functional primary elements of the dialog box. Note that the player is preloaded very simple to follow the menu of the inputs. In addition, the question with any other entry window of the checkbox buttons if they may have the mouses over them and brief the explanation for their use. Output file, the name of the output with the file receive the ASC2 output with the log file name to provide with the Verbio Stabius log file. Logging will be written into the file with the part name, then provide with the converter will the information of the part. Pro engineering part with the assembly name to specify the Berlicad object name of the file simple the text will with each of the specify the Pro engineering part and assembly name Berlicad object that must be named and separated with the white space. Note that the Berlicad name should not be included with the special characteristics backslash or parentheses white space. Starting intent number. The intent number will be assembled the result of the Berlicad reach with the subsequently start with the number that appear for the window of the maximum tessellation error. The values expressed with the millimeters that achieve the controls coordinate for the tessellation maximum distance between the actual surfaces. Tessellated at proximity with the smaller values error will result in finer tessellation more triangle value with the responsible ballistic vulnerability analysis purpose. Angle control valve, the value, the number between 0 and 1 provide additional control over the course and tessellation. Exact relation between the tessellation and the value is not specified in the Pro engineering documentation. The document value, default value 0.5. It seems to work well. For more information for the Pro engineering file format, import possibility, Parametric Technology Corporation website, ptc.com. Alright, 410, converting STL format. STL was developed by the 3D system in the 1980s with stereo lithographic apparatus. The stereo lithographic device provides a physical 3D model based on the STL format file. Because of the simplicity of STL format, because of the industrial standard exchange with 3D model, the uniform simplicity also presents some of the limitations. Fourth, consult with the only triangle. Each of the triangle represented with the three vertices. The surface of the normal vector. We cover the V vertically. each of the triangles listed there rather than index for the list of the topology must infer for the receiving system, which sometimes is leading to incorrect geometry. STL files may be either ASC2 or binary. ASC2 format includes the capability of including more than one solid part, of the optional name of each part of the binary format can only be support a single solid part with no name. STLG converting STL format. Berlicad STL format is entirely triangles, resulting in Berlicad database with the control of the border region. The top level of the combination named all which contain the region reproduced with each region consists of a single bag of the triangle primitives. Note that the ASC2 format STL file includes the capability containing more than one solid part of the region created with the name of the according to the same name specified the STL file. Even the name provided with the command line. STL file does not specify any of the name. Does not provide the name of the region provided with the produced the Berlicad database will construct the name of the STL file. The syntax of the STLG converter is file. The STLG option input STL output G input STL with the STL converted with the output G is named the Berlicad of the database to receive the converted output. Or the option for the command is file with the B designated for the input of the STL file binary format. The C unit with the specified unit of the STL file true for the centimeter, meters, and inch of the feet, and specify the name of the Berlicad region with more than one region that produce the unique region that will construct the data with the suffix next to the underscore. The integrated D designate the additional debugging information printed for the data and commands variation. Indent lowercase I indent specify the indent number. Time of the first region created during conversion. Additional region will be assigned sequential ident numbers. Capital I indent specify the indent that assigned to the Berlicad region created during the conversion. Optional lowercase I indent optional exclusively. And material code and specify the integral material code assigned to each of the Berlicad region with created during the conversion. The T tolerance distance specify the minimum distance for the millimeters allowed with between the distinct vertex. Vertex closer to the minimum will consider to be the same vertex with the default with the 5,000th millimeter. Your X liberated RTD bag flag they specify the flag of the retracing library that will result with additional debug loss messages. More information: SD file format, import possible 3D system web h3dsystems.com. Alright, 411, your converter from 10-kill format. Distributed to Advantage Business Group of the contract of the British military to defense of the 10-kill format. You have the 10-kill vulnerability, lethality is suspect code. The format is another purely triangulated representing the solid object. Syntax 10-kill G converted as 10-kill G options. The options command V verbose principle the previous progress information and produce the non-manifold graphic primitive the default the bag of triangle with primitive the I in lowercase I input TKL specify the 10-kill format default standard and insert O output G specifies the output with the default with the 10-kill K keeps the component of the ID to 1001 normally skip the K level C lowercase C level to set the liberated liberal ray tracing with additional binary definitions, at capital X level the default, and the non-manifold graphic H binary distribution definitions. For more information, 10-kill file format, the import possibilities, contact Advantage Business Group at the Barsinian East Street with the Farming Survey of GU 9 STB. Visit the website advantage-business-co.uk. Alright, 412, converting from the Unigraphic format. The Pro Engineering Unigraphic widely prepared with the CAD format. You have the thousands of companies in the United States with the Pro with the General Motors, Ford, Kodak, General Electric, Pratt, Whitney, Boeing, Samsung with the engine electric data system company that attributed with the jacket version of the Nastra. The Unigraphic tool set is to drive the traditional CAD CAM and computer aided drafting, computer aided manufacturing, computer aided engineering, conceptual industrial engineering, knowledge-based engineering, real-time design, calibration, and process automation. Alright, there are three modeling techniques, methodology within Unigraph. The first, explain with the traditional model, you have the points of the curve, the source of the non-associated with the history, the second, history of the model, basic modeling, associated with geometry, entry of the third modeling combination. Both explain with the history-based model, but not allow for the global application of the geometric rules with constraint with the geometry for all regions, surface of the engineering company. Unigraphic based computing of the geometrical model capability by parasolid geometry for the engineering developed the electric data system Cambridge, England with the RTX XT file format enabled the parasolids based systems And basically, they cover the unigraph of the Berlicad, convert the UG to G, written with the unigraphic, open an API library the unigraphic UG, open and execute the development license in order to run it, convert the comply with the SG IRIX machine to do the MIPS processor. However, they comply with the platforms of the Berlicad source distribution of the unigraphic open development license for the unigraph. The converting the creator of the Berlicad consists of a single byte brag of the triangle, the primitive, each of the unigraph, the part for the combination of each of the unigraph assembly. For each of the unigraph parts, the converted independently so that no transportation matrix is created, and the result of the Berlicad region model. Berlicad region have given the same parts with the edge of the assignment of the unigraph model with the part name of the mapping file that was provided region as are made in the unique necessary of adding suffix consisting of the integrated and integer number. Syntax converter is followed with the UG option to output the G with a UG underscore part slash file name subpart 1 subpart 2 UG part file name the unigraphic part name with the subparts are listed in the command line with only these names of the specific part of the file will be converted. The variables option is filed with the D level to specify the D level with additional log message for the current non-zero with the value with provide additional logging. The I initial indentation specifically identified the first region created by the conversion. Subsequent the regions assigned with the subsequent identity number. The end part name file with specify the file name of the mapping, the unigraph of the parts, and or assembly of the Berlicad object. The name of the file that provided will be used. Here the object name of the Berlicad model. The format file is simply with line per part with the unigraphic part. Assembly name file with the Berlicad object with the name separated with the white space. Now, usual restrict the Berlicad object the name applied with no space, no special line, no threaded detailed instruction. The discussion recommended name is discussed recommended section 4, volume 3. R reset. The reference set name they specify the desired reference set of the unigraphic used to provide the additional control of the assembly component of overriding the reference set specified in the unigraphic model. If it has to type of the geometry option with the specified the converter will attempt to create with the CSG equivalent geometry whenever possible. Note that all this option with the experimental S list all the feature attempt with the CSG option with the F option are mutually exclusive of the use. You extract the surface denominator with the unigraphic models with the option will result of the Berlicad model with a significantly larger will not use the retrace option appear with smoother. The O output G name of the specific receiver of the Berlicad tolerance distance specify the minimum distance in millimeters allowed between the distinct vertex close to the minimum will correspond with the same vertex default with the 5,000th of a millimeter. Surface normal tolerances specify the surface normal area of the tolerance of the degree of the backdation, the velocity of the default surface of the normal of the non-conservative during factorization. C minimum chamfer specify the AMI chamfer the dimension less than provided with the minimum millimeters will be ignored. Difficulty no feature that are ignored. R and male round specified in the round filled with the radius left that was specified with the minimum millimeters will be ignored. Default with no features are ignored. All right, for more information, unigraphic file format conversion potential electric data system website. Electric data is product PLM unigraphic NX. All right, we got one more, and then I'm gonna take a break. All right, 413 converting the viewpoint data lab format of the data lab start with the commercial supply with 3D model maintaining large repository faceted models and many objects. A company that has since grown with the provide with more surfaces with the model recipes over the time maintain with the documentation including viewpoint with the converting the viewpoint with the database over the core element format Berlicad with the format object the input with the converted with the region each of the consistently single Berbe triangle with the primitive with the converting will assign with the vertex over the nominal with the present with the input files. Of the two files expected, one of the contain with the vertex coordinated with the optional normals, one of the list of the vertex number with each of the polygon on favor. The format was due to the viewpoint with the database level metal repository, the current repository with the more common format, the DXS file with the VRML format. Syntax convert the viewpoint.g options. The option of the command is filed with the sheet coordinate files, input of the vertex of the coordinated files, elements files, set the input files, face of the file name, the output file name, and output of the Berlicad database name, default of the viewpoint G, T tolerance distance, of the distance calculation of millimeters and is in 5,000s. For more information, Data Labs format with the conversion presented for the documentation website with the documentation copy of the documentation 2003. Converting from Berlicad.